Let's just jump right in. We're about to tackle one of the biggest and honestly one of the most chilling questions we can ask. When you look up at the night sky, what are you really seeing? Is it just an empty expanse waiting to be explored, or is it something more like a cosmic graveyard? Today we're diving into a theory that tries to answer that very question. It's called the Great Filter. Okay, so first, to really get what we're talking about, you need a sense of scale. I want you to try and wrap your head around this number. This is the estimated number of Earth-like planets, planets that could potentially support life in our galaxy alone. 40 billion. That's not a typo. 40 billion chances for life to get started, right here in our own cosmic backyard. And that incredible number leads us straight to this really simple but profoundly haunting question. If there are that many opportunities for life out there, why is it so quiet? This is the famous Fermi paradox. With all that cosmic real estate and billions of years for civilizations to rise, you'd expect the universe to be buzzing with activity. But we hear nothing. No signals, no ships, just silence. And that right there is the heart of the puzzle. On one hand, the odds tell us the universe should be absolutely teeming with life. But on the other hand, all of our observations show, well, nothing. Just us. It's a massive contradiction, and one really unsettling theory tries to explain why.
And that's where we get to the Great Filter theory. It's this idea that tries to make sense of the silence. It says there's a very specific reason we're not hearing from anyone, and it's probably not a reason we're going to like.
So what is it exactly? Well, the Great Filter is basically some kind of barrier, a challenge so monumentally difficult to get past that it stops almost all life in its tracks, long before it can ever start building starships and colonizing the galaxy. It's a hurdle that every single spark of life has to clear to make it to the big leagues.
A really powerful way to picture it is as a kind of evolutionary wall, a point in development that's just so tough to get through, almost no one ever does. The cosmic silence we're hearing, it might just be the sound of countless worlds hitting that wall and failing.
This, right here, is the crucial question. This is where the theory gets really personal. If this filter, this wall, actually exists, where is it in relation to us? Is it behind us, or is it still up ahead? And the answer to that question changes absolutely everything for humanity. So we're left with two starkly different possibilities. Option 1. The Great Filter is something we've already beaten. That makes us one of the first, maybe even the only civilization to ever make it through. We're special. Option 2. The filter is still waiting for us. It's the final, deadly test that every civilization faces, and maybe no one ever passes. One path is lonely but full of promise. The other is absolutely terrifying.
All right, let's go down that first path for a minute. Let's explore the hopeful idea. What if we are the lucky ones? What if the hardest part is already over, and the Great Filter is just a memory in our evolutionary rearview mirror?
If that's the case, what could it have been? Well, maybe this simple act of life starting from non-living matter is so ridiculously rare that it's only happened once, here. Or maybe the hurdle was going from a single cell to a complex animal. Heck, it could have been the leap to consciousness and intelligence, or even the invention of technology. Any one of these steps on our journey here could have been the great test that we somehow miraculously passed. And if we did pass the test, then the silence out there isn't a threat. It's an invitation. It means we're pioneers, the first ones to the party. The entire galaxy is quiet because it's an empty frontier, and it's ours for the taking. It's a lonely thought for sure, but it's also incredibly hopeful.
But now, we have to consider the other side of the coin, the much darker possibility. What if getting to where we are now is actually easy, common even? What if the real test, the real wall, is something that every civilization like ours eventually faces? What if the Great Filter is still ahead of us?
In this version of the story, the filter isn't some ancient biological fluke. It's a trap we set for ourselves. It could be our own technology, the threat of nuclear war, or an out-of-control AI. It could be ecological collapse, a pandemic we create, and the scariest part? It could be a technology that we haven't even invented yet, a danger we can't even see coming. And the implication here is just bone-chilling. If the filter is ahead of us, then the silent universe isn't empty, it's a graveyard. It's the echo of countless other civilizations that reached our stage of development and then winked out of existence. The silence then becomes a warning sign written across the entire cosmos. So that brings this huge cosmic question right back down to us, right here, right now. Which is it? Are we the incredibly rare survivors, standing at the dawn of a galactic age? Or are we just the next in a long line of civilizations sprinting towards the same predictable, silent end? What we do next might just be the thing that answers that question. In the end, that's what this whole idea forces us to look at, our own fragility. Whether the Great Filter is in our past or our future, it tells us that there's some kind of existential barrier out there, threatening to snuff us out before we can ever leave our home planet. And it leaves us with the ultimate cliffhanger. Are we going to be the ones who finally break through, or will we just be another silent voice lost in the darkness?